Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is India. I am a social work student currently finishing my BSW, which I will obtain in May, and I am going straight into grad school. So this page will be geared toward that journey just in social work. I just want to contribute to the culture, contribute to the field, and like build an organic community where we can come here, talk, share content, lift up, and encourage one another. So, welcome. If you like what you see here, I do encourage you to share the page, like the page, subscribe to the page. That way you don't miss notifications for my videos. And of course, if you are returning, y'all, welcome back. I am like so geeked. Like literally last week, we was at 15, y'all. We done made it to 20 people. And I am truly excited about that. I mean, I know that some people out there are like 20, like, girl, bye. Like, I'm trying to get 20,000 and 20,000 will come. But I am one of those people that I am just grateful for where I am. And like I said, I have the network to grow the channel. Like if I shared it on my Facebook or even with my family members, my friends, like I definitely will get the subscriber count up, but I want to grow the page like organically. Like I don't want to share it with people. I want people to actually like find my page because they were looking for the kind of content that I'm providing and then see how I get into the algorithm. So, I mean, 20 is amazing. And there's literally 5 people that found this page and thought enough of me to go ahead and hit the subscribe button from last week. So we'll see. Hopefully the next goal is like, let's see if we can get to 50. I mean, 50 might not come until next year. 50 might come tomorrow. I don't know. But either way, I see y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I don't know. It just encourages me to kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Not that I'm doing anything major, but I am happy that you guys at least find some benefit in what I'm doing. So anyway, field. So of course this looks different. Usually, I get you guys all ready to go to Head Start with me, which is my field placement. I show you guys the outfit of the day. Today is Thursday. I do field Tuesdays and Thursday. I'm sorry. Today is Friday. I do field on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And this week we did it from home. And I think that's going to be just the way that it goes for at least the next couple of weeks because COVID is just hitting these streets like hard. And so they don't want anybody to get sick. So if you can work from home, they're encouraging you to do that. And I'm all for working from home. I do work from home for my regular job. I go to school from home, so I'm cool with that, especially if I might take y'all to the window to show y'all. Like, it's snowing. Like, it's big snowing outside. So, like, this is perfect for me. I get to get at home. I mean, I do have to get out and drive my daughter to school, but literally that's 10 minutes away. Drive her to school, come back, and then I'm here until she gets out of school. So, I'm completely cool with that. But yeah, so this week it wasn't too much of nothing. Tuesday we had a training that was canceled. Thursday, it really was nothing for me to do, but I was completely okay with that because I knew today I had a team meeting, and it was like an interdisciplinary team meeting. So there were about 7 or 8 of us on a call. It was myself, my field supervisor, just because, of course, she's like assisting me with the caseload, so she wants to get the information and stuff too. And she is available the whole week. I'm not, and I'm not going to break my boundary just to be available for them because, yeah, for them, and by them, I mean like Head Start and the team of the classroom that I am on, this is their job. So yes, they are available Monday through Friday. They can respond to emails at the drop of a dime. Me, I am not going to open that email until the days that I am at field. That starts the boundary because even when you get out in the field, if you start now setting your boundaries and only doing what you need to do when you need to do it, then you can kind of adapt that personality and take that into the field with you. So if you were to get a job where you worked Monday through Friday and you're used to boundaries, guess what? guess what? You are not going to get overwhelmed because they're sending you emails or calling your phone on Saturday and Sunday, and you trying to enjoy your family time or dinner out with your friends, and they're calling you and you're responding. If you set those boundaries in place now, you're going to be okay when you get in the field. And I mean, trust me, I am not a traditional student. Remember, guys, I am 35. So, like, I kind of know a little something about in the world. And you have to set boundaries in friendships, with family, at work. Like, you just have to set boundaries. And trust me, this is coming from somebody is that where it's hard for me to tell people no. Like, it's truly hard for me to tell people no because I am afraid of disappointing people. I pride myself on being there for people, but what I realize the older I get, I can still be there for you, but be there for you on my terms, right? I don't have to make your crisis my emergency. Let that sink in. We're going to say that again. I don't have to make your crisis my emergency. What that means is that, you know, you expect me to stop what I got going on just to assist you. I'm picking and choosing. Like, and that I started probably when I was like 33. I pick and choose what I do because what I find is givers have to take set limits because takers never do. Like, if you're consistently at somebody's beck and call, whether that's a friendship, whether that is with your job, when shit pop off, you gonna be everybody's number one call. Meanwhile, you over there dealing with your own stuff, or you're tired, or you're sick, or you freaking just don't feel like it. But because you're a people pleaser and you haven't set those boundaries, guess what you're gonna do? Run to their aid, and it's just going to keep contributing to them making you their emergency contact. So anyway, I don't want to get off into a rant. I will just say, so when we were on the call today, I did, introduce myself. They have meetings every Friday. I told them some Fridays I may not be able to attend because I do work on those Fridays. I did say I do my work on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So should an email come on Thursday or on Friday, please know I am not going to respond to that email until Tuesday because that is truly the only time I will be picking up that work laptop. And they were cool with that. I set the expectation. I put it out there. I mean, one lady didn't look like she appreciated that. So my supervisor kind of jumped in like, well, but I'm going to be her backup. I'm going to cover her and whatever. I mean, y'all figure it out. And I don't even, I don't have an attitude about it. But no, this is not like, ma'am, the way you're doing your job, I have a job to do at my real job that's paying me to do that job. So no, and I'm not going to compromise on that. This was a compromise enough to log in and take a meeting for almost 2 hours while I'm actually doing the job that pays me. So, I'll compromise a little bit, but it'll be what I want to do. So I'm picking and choosing when I'm choosing to compromise. So anyway, the meeting was amazing. I got to meet, it was a team of women. They all identify as women. And there was a speech therapist. There was a social worker who did a completely different job. I think she works in mental health. So she was on the call. Me and my supervisor were on the call representing the family service worker department. There was two teachers for the classrooms on the call. There was like the supervisor, I think, of the teachers, and like one more woman who didn't really say too much other than introducing herself. She's on her way out. She's got another job, so maybe that's why she wasn't talking too much. And I feel like I might be missing somebody, but mainly they went over with me that every call, which happens once a month, unless something serious goes on and they need to have like a quick emergency meeting, they typically happen once a month, and they go over the children that the teachers identify with the issue, or reoccurring issue, or maybe like something came up with the family. And they just discuss these kids. And then if it's nothing really going on with a specific set of kids and they have time left, they will go through their Excel sheet to see who they have not talked about and maybe just discuss, even if it's nothing. So right off the top, we had 3 children who, per my understanding, are always the topic of discussion for this team. One child is in a bad situation at home. Mom has her own mental illnesses that she is dealing with. She has 3 young children. Job and Family Services have taken the children like twice and did an emergency placement as a safety plan. First with mom's sister, and then second with the grandma. And both times the kids kind of end up back with mom. And so they try to get it like in front of a judge, where a judge would just like, instead of doing like safety plan, temporary type things, where they were just putting these children into foster care. But the prosecutor did not sign off on that. So the children are currently with mom, but none of the kids are going to school. You do have some school age kids, like real school, like kindergarten through 12th grade. And then you have our kid who is in Head Start, but none of the children are going to school. So our social worker was just keeping us abreast of the conversation she's had with the Job and Family Service caseworker, with workers for the other children, because it's multiple kids, so they all have multiple, workers or whatever. And just talking about that, because these kids are not going to school, so they're all behind. They all are operating on IEPs, which is an individualized educational plan. So what that does essentially is the state recognizes that these children have challenges with learning, and so they kind of give them a little bit more tender loving care, especially when they get into like real school. They kind of get like a little grading curve, and they get to work one-on-one with like specialists and things like that. So they're behind. They're not showing up. Mom has a lot of issues. More recently, she was even in the hospital on a psych hold, and everybody was like frantic trying to figure out where the children were. And it was just very sad to hear. And then it was even sad because the goal is not always to separate the children from their parents. Like, that's not the goal, because sometimes you could be putting them in a worse situation. Y'all heard the saying, you jump from the frying pan into the fire. But I think it's overwhelming for the mom, sister, and for the grandma to try to take on multiple kids, which is how, even in a safety plan, they're given temporary custody, but sneakily end up taking the kids back to mom, because I don't think that they can handle it. And so it's just a lot going on with this family, with needs of food, and I mean, just everything, like clothes. And the whole team chimed in, and like they kind of caught me up to like the services that we have provided. And at this point, everybody on the call was saying, like, honestly, putting them into foster care will probably be the best thing, because even the child that is in our Head Start program, and think about Head Start, this is somebody under 5, saying things like, everybody hates me, I don't want to be here. There was even mention of like, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like during roll call, I guess they were calling the child's name, and they didn't respond, and the teacher kind of like, what's going on, kiddo, whatever. And the child was just like, I don't know, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, and that's so sad to hear somebody that is under 5, being that disassociated with who they are at such a young age. And you kind of just know how that story may go down the future, down the line. And it makes me think about the other kids and, what they could be experiencing and what they could be going through. So in this case, everybody was like all for submitting whatever they needed to submit as far as documentation and evidence that the children are not really safe in their current environment, because that is why the prosecutor did not allow for them to be removed, because he said they didn't have enough evidence. So anyway, I don't know. That was like the case of the day. I guess we spent about 30 minutes talking about this one family. The second family was more about the grandmother of a child not wanting to accept the services that were recommended for her grandchild, like speech therapy because the child has like a speech impediment, recommending to the district for her to be reviewed for an IEP because the teachers and the teaching supervisor, like everybody says that there's like, something there, some type of disruption there that should be reviewed by the district, and the IEP would help her. But some people, they don't want that on their kids' record. IEP, like back in the day, um when I was in high school and stuff, a lot of kids with IEP were in like special ed classes, and kids are insensitive, so those children were like teased, and you call special or slow, or you're made fun of, like, oh, you ride the short bus, things like that. And so it's understandable that grandma wouldn't want her granddaughter to be labeled like that. And those records follow you. If you're getting an IEP in Head Start, you'll probably have one for the rest of your life. And I mean, some people outgrow their IEPs. I mean, for instance, I have a family member that started with an IEP, and they had an IEP probably until they got into ninth grade. And I'm talking like second grade to like ninth grade. And then everything was fine. Like, I don't know. So they were just talking about trying to follow up with grandma, have calls, and express the importance of getting the granddaughter review. But essentially, like, you can't force people to do things like that for their loved ones, especially not at the Head Start level. Like, maybe when she gets into real school, or when she gets her grandchild into real school, maybe the school has a little bit more like like say so in that, but she don't want to hear it from us. And then the third big case of the day was just a child that is autistic, and they're seeing some like regression there. They said after break, everything was fine before break. Like, the kid was doing everything that kids should do in Head Start, but then after break, kid returned and then didn't want to like let mom go at the drop off point, and would cry for like a whole hour and wouldn't talk to friends, and all of that. And so they were just kind of discussing the behavioral component, and like, I thought it, but I was too green, too new to really like speak up. But one of the other people on the call, which I believe was the social worker, she's just like, well, that to me, that sounds like break. That sounds like typical behavior, because children, they have to stay in a pattern. So if you have this kid in a pattern, and you said everything was going well, and then you had a break, and that break was 2 weeks for the holiday, but then the classroom closed. So really 2 weeks turned into like 3 or 4 weeks. And now you're coming back. Well, he spent 4 weeks not seeing these friends, not coming to this place with these teachers, not having to do all this stuff. He's been probably with his mom. So now you have to start all the way over. So it was no recommendation for that. Like, no, we don't need to refer for services. There's not a behavioral situation, really. Like, he's just being a typical child, and we will just keep an eye on it. Like, and so I appreciated being a part of that conversation just to see how it goes, because not every kid has behavioral issues. Not every kid needs to be referred to the district for services such as therapy and IEPs and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just, hey, it's a freaking 3 or 4 year old being a 3 or 4 year old. And so anyway, we talked about other kids because we did have a little bit of time left, but they were pretty much doing very well. And so it was just cool to be a part of that meeting. I felt like that hour and 45 minutes was like, it was everything, because that's the experience that I need. Because as you guys know, as social workers, when we enter the field, we're usually on a team. I mean, you may have a job here and there where it's just you, but if you go into school social work, guys, you're going to be working with teachers, you're going to be working with other district professionals, you're going to be working with parents, and maybe even healthcare professionals, depending on what all encompasses working with that one child. Like, you don't know. If you work in a hospital, you're going to be working with doctors and nurses and other social workers and family members and the patient, and that kind of stuff. So community, because sometimes you have to advocate for services for when they return home after they're discharged from the hospital. So I really appreciated being a part of the team meeting. I really felt like it was beneficial, and it's something that I would like to just, really get comfortable with, because I know that is going to be a skill that I am going to have to use in the future. So that was pretty much my week. I hope your week was going well. I know I always say, no weapon formed against us this week shall prosper. The week is almost over, but if we hear God has carried us and kept us safe, and He will do that, we're going to ask that He keeps us safe through the weekend. If you're in cold climate, guys, bundle up. Be safe out there. I'm not going to show you the snow. It's people outside, so then I will be showing the people they're outside working. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to chill this weekend. I have class tomorrow, and I'll be watching the Bengals game, guys, because, I am in Cincinnati. I am in Ohio. I'm not even a Bengals fan like that. However, you got to root for the home team. The home team is like doing something spectacular right now. So I definitely will be cheering for the Bengals, and I hope they go all the way. I look forward to keeping you in the loop of what happens with my caseload. Next week, I'll probably shadow one of the vets and just kind of like do a couple of phone calls with her to introduce myself and also check in on attendance, because there were a couple of kids that have been missing in action. Nothing really too alarming, just because COVID is rampant, so it could be COVID, and maybe parents just have not called in and reported why they were absent. It's just showing up as a couple of days of absences. So I don't know. I will keep you guys posted. I thank you again for tuning in. Now is the time to like, comment, or subscribe. Like I say, talk to me, y'all. I talk back. Thank you again for the 5 people that joined this week. I hope to see 5 more people next week. Share with your friends and your colleagues and everything else. And I'll see you next time.